off of your busy schedule to join us today. We really do appreciate the fact that you are joining us to view our existing, a little bit about our existing time and billing solutions, and then to have that sneak peek of the new time and billing. I'd like to give you a little bit of background regarding the existing time and billing solutions. They were originally written by Sage Software. They were later acquired by Hightower, and as of about a year and a half ago, SWK acquired Hightower and now owns the time and billing solution. Time and billing is available for version 2013. Time and billing professional, also available for version 2013. We are currently working on getting Timekeeper up to version 2013 as well. I just want to let you know that by listening to you and understanding your unique business opportunities and challenges, and this speaks for everyone out there that is currently using any of our time solutions or planning to use them, the SWK team is able to develop and deliver effective solutions that are just right for you and your client. I have Robert Waite alongside me today, who's going to be presenting the new time and billing, and I'm sure that everyone is going to be impressed by the new features and functionality. So today's agenda, we're going to talk a little bit about SWK, a quick introduction. We will go through an overview of our different time solutions. I'll let you know who exactly can benefit out of these solutions. We'll talk about client pain points. I keep saying time and time again because I'm going to show you bits and pieces of the different time solutions and do a slight comparison where it'll be able to let you know which solution would be best for your company. We're going to go ahead and provide you with the presentation, and at the end we'll talk a little bit about additional SWK enhancements, and I'll leave our contact information on the screen for you as well. So who is SWK? We are a Sage reseller. We've been around since the late 80s. We are gold certified. We're a Sage development partner, which basically permits us to use the Sage tool set to create different enhancements. One of them, of course, also being Mapadoc, which is integrated EDI. And we'll talk a little bit more about our EDI solution, but I do want you to know we've been in business for well over 30 years, and our solutions have been in place for over 16 years. We have a very strong and seasoned support staff based across the United States. So let's talk about who can benefit from the SWK time solutions. I'm not going to read the screen, but basically you can see anyone that bills for services, anyone that bills for time will definitely be able to benefit from these solutions. We've also added with Timekeeper the ability to bill for time as well as material. So if you're a legal representative, a CPA, a consultant, or any business that bills customers for time-based projects, you know how crucial it is to accurately track employee time. Basically, any company that bills clients for time-based projects or services can benefit from our time solutions. Let's talk a little bit about what exactly will cause pain when it comes to solutions that we're looking for. Entering time against billable projects and invoicing customers might sound easy, but when you experience the task firsthand, you quickly realize just how challenging it is. Now, who at some point hasn't been faced with the difficult problems of diverse billing rates, various billing methods, the need to create reports, of course, the constant time-consuming double time entry with inaccurate timesheets. And on top of all this, you're unable to keep track of remote employees. Not to mention, you couldn't even dream of having instant visibility into time on projects. Selecting the right time entry billing program can save companies time and money and can help produce accurate invoices every time. That's exactly what we're offering. With our time solutions, you will not only solve issues, but also increase the access for billing invoices. So again, currently we offer 3 different time entry software programs. Time and billing, which we call the standard time and billing Professional, and Timekeeper. Each program has their own set of features and strengths, and it really does depend on your business practices which program or programs are best for you. Today, we're going to go ahead and provide you with that sneak peek of the new time and billing enhancement. And just so you get an idea, this time and billing enhancement, the new one, is completely ERP agnostic. So what you see on the screen right now is the standard time and billing time and expense entry screen. As you can see, time and billing contains features that will allow your company to enter employees' time and expenses that are billable and create the billing invoices. It does not require accounts receivable from Sage at all because it has a mini accounts receivable written into it. So one thing I'd like to point out with the standard time and billing, you'll notice that for the engagement, you were limited to a 4-digit engagement code. Many people complained about this, and we listened. And I'll show you how we made the changes on the next slide. So unlike SWK's highly integrated time and billing professional module, the standard time and billing module does not require the integration to any specific Sage 100 module because it has, as I mentioned before, the mini AR written into it for invoicing. You can choose, however, to integrate time and billing with accounts payable, general ledger, and/or bank reconciliation. You can post work in process time to general ledger, enter billable expenses in accounts payable, and have them post back to time and billing work in process. You can also record time and billing deposits in bank reconciliation. Now I have to emphasize, if you already have the accounts receivable module, the next slide is what you're looking for. This is the time and billing professional time and expense entry screen. Now you can see the engagement code went from 4 digits to 20 digits. This was a huge change, and again, it was something that was requested by many of our users. So with Time and Billing Professional, you have that additional functionality. Time and Billing Professional also contains the features that allow users to enter employees' time and expenses that are billable and create the billing invoices. Time and Billing Professional includes a number of enhancements to the standard time and billing module. Besides general ledger and accounts payable, it requires, and this is the part that is basically the catch, it requires the accounts receivable module from Sage. Sharing common information eliminates any duplicate entry of information already stored within your Sage system. Some key areas of Time and Billing Professional, such as billing data entry, credit memo entry, and open item versus balance forward billing, are utilizing the features brought from the Sage Accounts Receivable module. And then not to mention you have the 20-digit engagement code available. So with Time and Billing Professional, Accounts Receivable basically takes over cash receipts, finance charges, statements, and sales tax analysis. All of the receivables are kept in one module. A very important feature of Time and Billing Professional is its ability to accommodate both open item and balance forward billing. Another function in Time and Billing Professional, for example, is batch entry. When batch entry is activated in Time and Billing Professional options, it will allow the user to enter as well as update by batch in both invoices and credit memos. So again, we're giving you that additional functionality without the need to go outside of your Sage 100 system. We also offer a migration utility, which is ready to help users map time and billing clients. So if someone's already using time and billing, the standard time and billing, we provide this utility so that you're able to migrate your time and billing clients and move them, or accounts receivable clients, into your Time and Billing Professional. Once all the time and billing clients are mapped properly, the utility can migrate time and billing data to Time and Billing Professional and accounts receivable. So there's a huge advantage there. I have to say, with the standard time and billing and with Time and Billing Professional, we do not offer a web entry screen. They both will take up Sage user licenses. And this is the only screen that you would basically have to work with, and it's right within your your Sage 100 menu. I better start that. tossing the quarters in my jar again. So let's talk about Timekeeper now. And you'll notice as we progress during the presentation, you'll see that there are more features available depending on the solution you choose. Timekeeper contains features that allow employees to enter their own time and expenses into Sage 100. Timekeeper allows users to enter the time, material, and expense information not only for billing purposes but also for payroll. Timekeeper can be accessed via a workstation, laptop, iPad, iPhone, Android, or anywhere you have internet access. There are no billing capabilities because billing has to be done through integrated Sage module of your choice. And I'll mention the choice that you have. Again, I want to reiterate, you do have access to time and expense entry through the web, which means that as long as you have an internet connection, you'll be able to access this screen through an iPad, an iPhone, you name it, anywhere you can have an internet connection. The one thing is, with Timekeeper, you're not able to bill directly out of Timekeeper software. It depends on which modules you decide to integrate with. So if you decide to integrate with accounts receivable, you can do your invoicing through accounts receivable. Some clients prefer to integrate with job costs because they want to be able to keep track of the different jobs that were set up in job costs, etc., or bill for material, so they bill through job costs. The modules that are required are either accounts receivable, job cost, or time and billing for billing purposes. But you can also optionally integrate with payroll and sales order. Timekeeper, the best way to describe it is the availability or the ability to enter time anytime, anywhere. Before I go on to our spotlight here, there's one thing that I usually start my presentations with, and that is with a joke. It was very hard for me to find a joke about time, so I have to tell you a true story. My daughter, who's in 8th grade, when she was in 2nd grade, asked my husband one day, why is Mom always bringing her work home? And my husband explained, well, she doesn't have enough time, so that was the only time joke I could think of. She doesn't have enough time to finish everything at home. And she looked at me sadly and said, Mom, you know, you can ask to be put in a slower class. So everyone, it's not such a funny joke. It was funny to me because of her innocence, and it did have to do with time, the only joke I could think of about time. So let's go to our featured enhancement today, the new time and billing. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not have an official name for the new time and billing. We will eventually be sending out a survey. We would like to hear back from anyone in regards to suggestions of new features that anyone might want to see in the new time and billing. First of all, and you can see, the new time and billing is ERP agnostic. The initial release will work with Sage 100 and Sage 500. We will be targeting integrations with any ERP that has market. So that means QuickBooks, that means anyone out there. The integration with Sage CRM initially will be one directional. We will then focus on creating the bi-directional functionality. We also intend to target multiple CRM systems, as well as offering basic CRM capabilities right out of the box. With built-in business intelligence, you're going to be able to analyze your data in multiple dimensions. We're also going to be implementing charting reports. You can streamline time entry relative to tasks, CRM cases, support tickets from the engagement or the client. Project management, for example, will be a task function. When you have a project, you'll actually be able to build your own project by setting up tasks required to complete the project. You'll be able to key in time based on each task and schedule these tasks accordingly. We're going to be offering an audit trail. Any changes that are made, anything at all, we'll be able to keep track of exactly what your employees are doing. And not to mention, there's going to be spell check available throughout the system. So Without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and hand this over to Robert. Robert Wade is going to begin the presentation of the new time and billing. If there are any questions, please type them in as we go. We will try to address and reply to everybody's question. If for any reason we're not able to, we will definitely contact you after the presentation.
Hello, everybody. My name is Robert Waite. I'm the lead developer for this new time and billing system that we have. As Patty had mentioned, we're targeting this to be ERP agnostic with a focus of integration to the Sage 100 and 500 products at first, and then moving on to any other types of ERPs thereafter. We already have CRM integration in here, where we're currently looking at demo data. So I do not have any demo data from Sage CRM that's integrated in with this, but we do have this wired into our internal system, and we rely heavily on Sage CRM, and we see those capabilities in there. So what I'd like to start out with is just talk about the major components of time and billing. You have your clients, you have the engagements, contacts. We don't have any contacts in here right now, but this will weave into your AR contact list within your Sage system, and or your contacts from your CRM system. You have a list of employees, and you have the classic time entry screen that you're familiar with the time and billing professional or time and billing standard. So let's back up a little bit and go to the client screen, and we'll drill into one of these clients. So we have some basic information up here in the front. We have it in terms of being able to sort by however you need to sort. I'll show you a better example of that. But anyway, in terms of CRE from here, where you could enumerate opportunities and track opportunities. Of course, you have your time detail. This is all of the time detail relative to this client. There's cases, SAP, and call it something different. We do have a tool, a model editor in here where you could change the name of that. We are offering scheduling capabilities where you have drag and drop scheduling in relative to that entity as well. And then we have time analysis. So we can drill in. I wish I had a lot. This has been a huge hit internally in terms of trying to figure out. I think one of the biggest pain points with the existing time and billing systems is I want to make heads or tails out of my data, and I'd like to find out what's going on relative to something out there. So you can rearrange things and have report when you have more data available, and you give yourself an opportunity to move around and navigate your data from several different dimensions. This is an example of one of the audit logs in here. Virtually any entity in the system that's hosted by the time and billing, any changes made are documented in this screen here. You may not see the change history tab on all of the entities, but nonetheless the data is there. If you're familiar with your audit trails within Sage, it's pretty much the same thing. So that is going to be a huge help when it comes down to trying to figure out what happened, where, who in the world changed this record, and so forth. And then you have communications from, and this again is related to the CRM system. And if we were wired into a CRM system, you would see the communications against a particular client relative to your CRM. All right, so getting down into more detail, we get into an engagement. Now, we have the similar tabs across the board. We have our time detail, which essentially encompasses all of the time that's been entered against this engagement. Engagement detail, all of the properties of the engagement. CRM opportunity detail. If this was linked to an opportunity, you would see the detail here. And then we get into the concept of tasks. They may be small, but if they're large, pretty much you're going to have to break that engagement down. Hold on a moment. You're going to have to break that engagement down into bite-sized chunks. So I'm already using this internally to actually estimate. I put in I need to do more work. I would set the work code that is associated with that task, whatever it may be, when I'm going to start that work, when the work is due, and so forth and so forth. And then I would populate an estimated amount of time to do that. Okay, it's going to take 2 hours to do more work and then 1 hour to do this. You enumerate that over the whole project. You're going to have at the end a sum of what that estimated time is. So one of the things that we want to do with this is we want, relative to the tasks themselves, we want to measure the amount of time that's relative to the estimated to actual and indicate a percentage complete and so forth. So when you drill into a specific task, you're able to drop in time detail directly in here. Now, I'm working on this part right now. I'm changing some stuff up, so I can't show you right here. But the idea here is, now, being that we're working on we're putting time against a relative task, we already have all of the information that we have pertaining to the task. We know who the client is. We know who what the engagement is. We know what work code the task is for. This is all stuff that has been pre-planned. Essentially, all you need to enter in is the amount of time that went into it. And I want to default all these properties to what they need to be and fill in the description based off of the description of the task, or have the option of you specifying the type of work performed, and then that detail drops in. So this is one of the areas where we're going to streamline data entries so that you're working relative to a project. You got your tasks. You have all of your information that you need relative to that project at your fingertips. You don't have to spend a chunk of your day at the end of the day keying in all of this stuff when all you need to do is specify an amount of time in there. So I would love to show you that functioning. However, that's a work in process. Now, when you're, so relative to an engagement, you also have the time analysis, and now we're only performing analysis against a specific engagement. Here's the total number of hours that are against that engagement so far. And I could say, okay, give me the employee code and who's been doing what. So, or drill it down by work code and see what the totals are for each of those. So again, you have your scheduled event. Here's the same event that you saw under the client. And that's related, and you could assign multiple employees to it. So if I go to me, drill into my, and I look at my schedule, I see it on my schedule as well. So when you schedule something, it all enters it works relative to the client, the engagement, and the employee. All right, so let's back up a little bit. All right. So what we have here is we have a classic time entry scenario. This is what everybody's used to. They punch in a transaction number, 2013. They put in some sort of code, and they start plugging away at time. So I'm working on that specific engagement work code. So you have that classic view of time entry. So this is completely optional. You're able to key in time directly against a client engagement, a task, or a case. You don't need to have a time entry header on it. Let me bring up some available columns that are available for you. What we do also have is we intend to integrate with inventory. Now, this demo company that we're working with only has 2 miscellaneous codes at this point, but nonetheless, if we had inventory in here, we'd be able to select the inventory and put that in as a line and then drop that in. So we are intending to, because with most services, you need to distribute some form of inventory along with your services, or some sort of miscellaneous charges, or that type of thing. And this is obviously pulling directly from the CI item file, and it would be pushed into either sales order invoice entry or AR invoice entry to distribute that inventory. All right, so let me save that. So the time approval, we have a whole host of time that's newly entered. We want to go through the process of approving this. I believe it's a matter of simply selecting the records that you're going to approve. If you're an engagement manager, we can add in the engagement manager again. we could say, okay, we want to have engagement partner. And we would be able to sort down by whoever that engagement partner is. Or we can even use the security model to eliminate the display of any other records that are not associated with that engagement partner. So we simply select a range, we approve this, we're going to put this through a new approval entry. The approval ID can be anything. We're going to set an automatic approval ID item in there for you. And we're going to select that. So now those records are actually approved and they are now sitting in WIP. Here is your WIP for those items. Now when you go to bill, you want to select the range of items that you're going to approve for billing. When you select that, you hit bill, and you're going to generate a new billing record. The billing record, again, we're going to auto-increment this. We'll call it billing record 1, 2, 3, 4 for now. And you're going to leave the invoice number blank. Essentially what's going to come back is when we push this into the ERP system, this is going to come back with ERP, the invoice number that the ERP generated for you, or we're going to specify the invoice number that we want the invoice to be when we push it into the ERP system. So we're going to save and close that, and we're going to hit OK. And those items are now a billing entry. So this essentially is the pre-stages of an invoice. So at this point, the next big step is to push this into the ERP system and bill it accordingly. So for CRM, currently what we have integrated with Sage CRM is cases, communication, company, and opportunities. And companies link up to clients via the CRM link here. So you have your AR customer in your system. You need to link it up to a CRM customer in your CRM system, and this is the link between the two systems. Once you have that link there, you're going to view whatever opportunities you have in your Sage CRM system, whatever cases you have against your Sage CRM system, all of your communication that you have against your Sage CRM system. Or in the event that you don't have a CRM system, this will work as a standalone CRM system, and you could get in there and create, okay, I want to set up a new company or a new opportunity. I believe I disabled that in terms of the integration between the Sage CRM, but it's just a matter of turning it on so that you can actually create a record. So if you do opt to not integrate to a CRM system and you want light CRM capability, that will be an option available to you. We're looking to integrate as much ERP data as we possibly can. So we have a list of AR customers, contacts, customer memos, invoice information, open invoice information, transact payment history, and items, GL accounts. These are all records that are coming directly from the ERP system, and we ultimately are going to weave that information in with the engagements as well as the client records, so that when you go in and you have a look at a client, you're going to see a list of open invoices, and this is, of course, if the user has privileges to see that information, and we'll get into the security model in this thing. And Patty, can we add to that list the security model? And we'll get into that soon. All right. And have you seen any questions come by yet? Patty?
I will check. I'm checking right now.
Yes.
Okay.
Adrian, I don't see any. Do you?
Can you guys
Okay.
hear me? We do have a couple questions. Thank you, Marilyn, for your questions. And we actually have several. And I just clicked out of that window real quick. Bear with me. Will this require SQL?
Yes, it will require SQL. You don't have to have a full SQL version. This will run on SQL Express. There will be performance limitations in terms of running on SQL Express, but if you're working with just a handful of users that are going to be using this, you're not going to need a full-blown version of SQL. If you're getting up to 40-plus users, you're probably going to want to look into getting a full SQL instance. So it's just a matter of once you hit those performance hits, you're going to want to upgrade from SQL Express. But no investment is actually needed to get this up and running in terms of a SQL server.
When entering time, how many characters do you have to have for the time description?
You could have it's unlimited. You could write a whole book in there if need be.
Is there a single screen where you can enter your time for the entire day, or
Yes.
do you have to bring up each engagement?
The single screen is this right here. This is your classic time entry. One of the big questions that I get commonly is, well, how about timekeeper? Can we have a timekeeper type scenario where I just hit the calendar day and see what entries I have there? We will be implementing that. That will be part of the initial release. What we also are targeting is to implement an entry screen that's very much on par with timesheets. If you're familiar with timesheets, you have your engagements or tasks, and you could fill in a whole week's worth of time just by adding in the numbers to where it's at. Once I have that in place, that's going to make a little more sense, but if you are familiar with timesheets, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's the easiest way of actually keying in your time. If you have your set tasks, this is what I need to do this week. All you need to do is plug in Monday I worked 8 hours on that, Tuesday I worked 8 hours on that, Wednesday I worked 4 hours on that, and then 2 hours on that, 2 hours on that. Ultimately, we want to implement that as well.
How does an employee know that they have accounted for all their time each day, each week, each month?
Through reports as well as those entry screens. So when we when we implement that timesheets style, you're actually going to see 1 week at a time, so that if you put in 40 hours or 50 hours, that screen is going to indicate the total at the end of the day. And then you have the option of keying in that time from any particular point. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you see that you've entered in 8 hours. Does that answer the question?
Marilyn, if you need further clarity on that question, feel free to indicate that. I'm going to go ahead and ask the next question that you have here. How long will you support the existing time and billing solutions?
Patty, that's a question for you, I think.
That is still undetermined. Please, everyone that's out there, know that we will continue to maintain and support the time and billing standard, time and billing professional, and timekeeper. Once it comes time to have a full-blown release of the new time and billing, and when we actually have a name for it, we will definitely give you plenty of notice. There will be a migration utility, and for all of those that are current with their maintenance, we will also be offering an incentive. So we have not put everything in writing or outlined everything quite yet. This is only a sneak peek. I wanted to give everybody the opportunity to see what's coming, because I know that many of the features that you are looking for within your time and billing standard, time and billing professional, and timekeeper are being written into this new time and billing program.
Going back to that question of how do I know that I've keyed in an 8-hour day or a 40-hour week, what I've done is I've gone into the analysis tab of the employee, and I've just dragged the transaction date into the rows field. So what I'm seeing here is a total of all of my time for those particular days. If I wanted to get into and be able to see additional information, I could drag that in there as well. Okay, well, on this day, what engagements did I work on, and what's the total of that? So when it comes down to managers reviewing time, this tool is going to be this tool is going to go a long way. And also, I'm able to view the extended descriptions as well. Also, in terms of ad hoc reporting and this is one of the areas where you're going to be able to derive a myriad of different types of reports. Right now I'm looking at time only relative to a specific employee, but anything that we see in here we can export to Excel for further processing. We also have a full-blown analysis module here where we can do some pretty heavy analysis on stuff and bring up charts and all sorts of stuff. Bring up a chart wizard and make all sorts of there's a whole load of functionality in terms of this. So here we're looking at time for a specific year. All right. So any additional questions?
Yes, we have quite a few. Okay, are you looking to integrate this with Sage 300?
We're looking to integrate with any ERP system that we're going to find a market for. So we're targeting this to be platform agnostic, and it's just a matter of finding the integration points between a system and then just writing the integration between this. So this would collect all of your time, and then we push that data into Sage 300 if need be. So the answer is yes. It's just it's not a matter of if, but when we do it.
And when will this be available? Thank you, Marilyn. I'm assuming the question's for Sage 100.
We are targeting the beginning of the year to release the initial beta and start letting people start using it.
And how
mention that SWK is actually going to start testing internally or using the software internally. We currently use Time and Billing and Timekeeper. We're going to be the first users of the new Time and Billing, and once Robert and his team determine that it's something that can go out to public, then we will have the official release. In the meantime, if anyone else is interested in beta testing, please let me know, and I'll be happy to get you in contact with our development team.
Okay.
And then,
Patty,
go ahead.
Just a correction there. We are actually using it internally now. We've got a select few that are reviewing it, and so far it's working pretty well. We're not currently using it as a time entry system at this point, but we are leveraging the analysis features and the reporting features and the project management features to facilitate our processes. And we do have a handful of users internally that are using this today. And I mean, if you wanted to get your hands on this sooner as an analysis tool to complement what you're currently keying your time in with, we might be able to arrange something like that. You know, it'll be up to my the upper people, but we could potentially get this rolled out sooner if you're not looking to leverage the time entry features right away.
And then how can remote users enter time entry?
We are targeting to have this on a web platform as well. So it's a matter of entering it in through a website.
And by the way, when it comes to users, we will not require Sage user licenses. The only time, Robert, when is the only time that we will require the user license?
The only time that we're going to require a user license is when we're actually pushing information into the ERP. So when it comes down to this system generating invoices, it's going to then consume a user license. And that user license is used for only a brief amount of time. We're talking like less than a few seconds to push invoices through the system. All right. So I'm going to go.
We do have a few more questions. Should we break and get back into the presentation and then ask the questions, or we have about 6 or 7 more?
Okay, yeah, let's do that. I'm going to talk a little bit further with some other key features of what we're looking to deliver, and we'll answer some more of those questions in a bit. All right, so we've seen the mass data in there. In terms of configuration, we have embedded a security model. Now, when it comes down to granting privileges to users that you want them to only be able to see this information, but they can't write to it, only certain users of a certain type delete stuff. There's fields in the system that are privy to only certain people. This is where we're going to set that up. So in terms of the type permissions, here's an example of the basic configurations. Obviously, if you have an employee, they're going to need to enter time. You're going to specify what roles can approve time, what roles are going to be able to bill, and we're going to and with this security model, you can also get down to the member level of the objects. So you can say, well, employees of this type can only modify records that have this property in it. And this is all tailored to the client, and however the client needs to have it configured and set up. And we could get down to not only the record level and performing securities as users can only see these particular records, we're going to be able to drill down and eliminate anybody from being able to see specific fields or create or modify specific fields. So the security model in here is fairly robust. And to set up users, it's a matter of setting them up here, hit new user, and you set them up to a role. So in this particular case, we only have 2 roles in there right now, a basic user and an administrator, but you define down to whatever roles that you actually need. This is where we're going to set up work code configurations and what general ledger is going to be used for specific items. We have that at the engagement level as well, so depending on how things are configured, that's going to be where the general ledger account gets pulled from. We have several things in development. I'm not going to get into any of that. So we talked about the analysis features and being able to perform charting capabilities and via this or through the time analysis via the client engagement or employee. You also are going to be able to set up key performance indicators, and this is where we're going to configure utilization, statistics, billing, is it higher or lower than it was the previous year, set up scorecards, and so forth. In the so we spoke about reports. This system does encompass a report designer, so we can get in and create reports against entities and throw in barcodes, and this essentially here is an approval sign-off page, so that if you want to have that paper copy of somebody printing out the time that's approved and you want a signature at the bottom of the page indicating that a manager has actually gone through and ascertains that the information is correct, or they're taking responsibility for the information being passed into the system, we have this report set up on it. But virtually you can configure as many types of reports as you may need. So if we wanted to spin up a brand new report and say, okay, and we'll report off of time detail, or let's do AR customers, and you want a list of AR customers in the system. You go through this wizard, and it gives you the ability to spin up a report quickly and easily. Okay, so we just had a report. We went through the report wizard, and it created this report. So we could get quite granular in terms of what we can do in here. Any information relative to a customer we can put in here and add in there. So I should have picked client as the type. Let me new report. So client data has more information attached to it, which is why I'm changing it up here. So let's just throw in the customer name there. And let's say we have these fields over here, and we have this list of engagements there, and say we want to get a report out of the system that enumerates the engagements. We insert a detail band, and we say, I want engagements, and we just simply drag some engagement detail on there. So let's put in the engagement code. Engagement description. And the actual time relative to the budgeted hours. So we can save that. And close it up. Now you notice that we have a little checkbox up here, and the way this works is we're going to set that report that we just created as a inline report. So I'm going to go in, edit this record, I'm going to click in place report, save and close it. Now, the only way that that actually registers is if you have to restart the program. So as we've gone through the demo, we've opened up a lot of screens, but I haven't done any maintenance on it. Let me do it. And now we can close out. I'll be able to show you how that works. All right, so now we have a client selected. or we can be in the record itself, and then we have this menu option up here, the Show and Reports. Now we have Client 1 and Client 2. Client 2 is the report that we just generated. We're listing the engagements against that client. You simply click on that, and that brings up the report relative to that specific client. So when it comes down, you can also select a range of items and say Show and Report, and it's going to only print on what you've actually selected. Now, we just whipped up that report really quick, but nonetheless, we could spend some time to doll it up and make it look nice if need be. You also have export to functions as well as email as whatever type. So if you wanted to spin up an email, send this report off to someone, you go through that, and I'm going to save the report first, and then my email should open up here soon. There we go, and we could send this off to somebody. So there you have it. You got some functions in there too. So there's a lot that you can do with that report module. Now, what we also have down here at the bottom is state machine and workflows. They're essentially both workflows functionality, but this is where we can define up a specific process and automate certain functions to perform tasks. If you're familiar with Windows Workflow, which you may or may not, it's all based off of Windows Workflow. So the difference between this type of workflow and the state machine workflow is that the state machine workflow works off of a status of a particular record. So like if the status indicates email this reports to the client, you can configure it up and set something up to automatically email email something to somebody based off of a property of any type of record. All right, so how about we go back to the questions?
Okay, perfect. We have a question. What training and certification will be required for resellers?
We do not require any type of training or certification. In our new reseller partner program, which if you'd like, just send me an email and I can send anyone a brochure, we are offering training for resellers for any of our enhancements, but it is not a requirement. We basically like to give you the option as to learning the product and being able to resell it for us, or we can do the work. We don't mind joining you in any project, and we'll be happy to provide presentations, training as needed.
And I am going to launch a poll. We have more questions. And while we're asking the questions, I'm going to go ahead and launch a poll. Are you interested in learning more about time and billing? If I could ask the audience just to please answer that question while we're announcing the other questions. It would be nice if the grand total lines were shaded differently from the detail. Happy face. Okay, so I think that's just a suggestion, you guys.
And I love it. Keep sending them. I'd love it if you could send them to our email so we could keep track.
Perfect. And
can you repeat that question?
It would be nice if the grand total lines were shaded differently from the detail.
You can actually do that. It's part. One of the things that I didn't get into is the model editor, and I mean this is a fairly hefty topic in of itself, but there is conditional formatting that you can set on properties, so that if you records of a certain type, you want them highlighted in a certain color, or grand totals of this type can be configured and highlighted in a different way. I'm not quite sure exactly which grand total is in question, but there is the capability of doing conditional formatting.
And ladies and gentlemen, we are only touching the surface today. There is so much more involved with this new time and billing program. It's going to take at least 2 hours to show everyone. But again, we wanted to give you that sneak peek. We are very excited about what Robert and his team are creating for us. And we were dying to show it to the rest of our channel partners. So keep those suggestions coming, please. Robert and I look forward to them. And as you can see, a lot of the suggestions that you may have, Robert has already included in the product itself.
One of the things that I didn't touch on either is that you do have business rules that you can define. So if you have a particular type of record where when you're writing time entries to a specific client of this type, don't allow them to use work code such and such and such. That's something that we're going to be implementing internally, because we have mistakes that happen, and it just wastes a lot of time in terms of the mistakes that happen. But if we're able to prevent those mistakes from even happening in the first place by setting up a business rule saying, hey, if you're tracking time against this client, you cannot use this work code, we're going to be able to set those up as well for you. And those are completely tailored to your specific business. There's going to be a handful of business rules that are going to come in there by default, such as like got to have an engagement code or a work code set to any given line. Those are some of the obvious ones. But you're going to be able to get into advanced business rules.
And then will you be able to put user-defined fields from Sage 100 or Sage CRM?
You do that directly in here. Now the trick is you got to have the field created in the database in the first place, and then you just add that field in here, and you gotta this model editor is on the user level, but if you go into the very root model editor, you're able to add in fields. So you just got to make sure that the field exists first in the database, then you can add in those user-defined fields.
And then I see you have billing formal code set up on each engagement. Since invoice printing is done in the ERP system, how do these billing format codes work?
The billing format codes that you saw in here is pretty much an inheritance of the current time and billing module. So the data that's coming in and you're seeing displayed here, that's where it's coming from. But it all depends on what you're able to do in terms of your ERP. If you're talking about different types of formats of invoices, we're going to look into providing that logic for you. Ultimately, if it's something that you've been able to do in the past with your current system, our primary objective is to make sure that you're able to do it in this system as well. So that's why we're bringing over the data as it is, and we intend to continue to use that data as it was originally intended to be used for.
So perfect. I think that does it for the questions. And thank you so much, Robert and Patty, for all the information. This looks like a fantastic tool for time and billing. And did you guys have anything else that you wanted to close with?
Only that I'd like to share our contact information, Adrian, if you wouldn't mind giving me that.
Let me make you the presenter.
And to go back to that question about the billing formats, we are going to allow the invoice to be printed from the time and billing system as well, so we could handle that logic from this side of the system, and you're going to be able to modify those reports very much like you would a crystal report, and then push that off from the time and billing side, and then data is just being pushed into the ERP.
So we have your contact information up here. As you see, Patty, you can reach her at 973-251-0074 or Helene at 973-758-6137. And Stella at 973-251-0072.
Thanks, Adrian. And that about concludes our presentation. I'd like to thank everyone once again for setting time aside to view this presentation. If anyone is interested in seeing additional functionality or has any specific questions, please do not hesitate to call the number you see on the screen. My name is Patty Benitez, and thank you, Robert, so much for the presentation. Thanks, Adrian. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the afternoon.
Perfect, and I did record this, and we'll be sending that recording out to everybody as well. Everyone enjoy the rest of the week, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye-bye.